Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatsMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, today we've got a map which at first glance is absolutely stunning. A really, really good looking map at first glance. However, it is littered with issues. Minor things, and some of you won't care about them and just go on and play it anyway, and I wouldn't blame you. But a few of you are going to grumble with me about these because, well, then they're not required, they're unnecessary, they're easily avoided. We'll talk more about those as the show goes on, but first of all, a little job for you. Regulars will know it's time for your daily reminder. That's right, hitting the like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day, so thank you for your support. Today's map is Bíseach by Phil Llewell 666. Now Bíseach I know I've got right or thereabouts, it's Irish Gaelic and it appears to mean spiral. Okay, I did a little bit of googling for that one. There's your start square there. Phil Llewell might be something similar, but I'm going with that. It looks about right. Terrain heights don't really show up too much, but my goodness, when you get down at ground level it looks amazing. Resources, particularly like the oil on the Crescent Moon Island. We won't even be looking at the Crescent Moon Island today. We're concentrating on the landmass today. And then you're fishing, no sign of any tuna. I want my tuna. I want a tuna sandwich. Sort me out. Okay, off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, the answer is no DLC, which is good. Nothing else. Says made by PW. I'll talk about that in a moment. We're using the Laviante theme, which is actually mentioned down in the comments, and this is what the procedural world creator, the actual terrain height map, looks like. But yes, yeah, we're using that, and we're using the realistic 1.2 LUT because of reasons. You might also notice a whole bunch of custom trees and grasses that aren't mentioned in the subscription lists as well. So yes, but we are using the correct theme here. But it's one that you have to find. Okay, the roads are a bit janky, and we've got a bridge going on here, which is just a little bit awkward looking. You would expect it to be pretty much symmetrical. It sort of is, but elevated sections where ground-based sections are, and it's just not quite there. Oh, look, everything's going. I've got a train going underneath it as well. Let's hang around for that, shall we? So yes, they've used the procedural world generator tool, which is some software available on the Unity store. I've had a little look, and this is something that goes to show that you can have all the best tools, but then you still got to do the work afterwards as well. And unfortunately, it's a little bit slapdash. It's not the worst, certainly not the worst we've seen in terms of detailing, but it's struggling. It's struggling to hit a 3rd star. We'll talk about the tree placement a bit later on in the show, but in terms of the highways, you can see here they're just a bit clunky. You'd struggle to call this quite 3-star standard. Like this intersection here got a little bit bumpy. Let me bring you down here. In fact, we've got a few problems going on here. Like a little bit of a squidgy down ramp there with the slight angle on it. At least it gets you ramped in, I guess. Then the actual bridges, we've got a couple which are bumped and one that is flat. If they were all perfectly flat, that'd be great, but those bumps don't make any sense. And then where these merge lanes go, this is the worst bit. Oh my goodness me. We got terrain glitching. In fact, we go down to street level, you'll see just how badly that is. Look at that. Blue mantle galore going on there. Yeah, so it's not particularly great work, if I'm honest with you. This is your main highway going down in towards the start square. Now we'll do a little fly through on this. So yes, another one of the minor issues. So we've got missing subscriptions on the workshop. We've got, we should have had listed the theme. That should have been listed. It was brought up in the comments. The creator has, to be fair, given the information, they have responded to the comment. That's always good to see a creator actually responding. That's amazing. But on top of that, this map is not called Bíseach in the loading screen. You have to look for the word Spyro. Okay? S-P-I-R-O. And because when I went looking for it, I had to then go into the content manager to do a little search for it via the name Phil Llewell, because I went through all the maps that were called New Map, because I thought it was going to be a new map issue. But yes, it's been given a completely different name from the one it was released with, which again, it's just adds a little... It's not a game breaker, but it just adds an extra layer. It adds an extra layer of confusion before you can even get in and play the map. And the overall design of the map is amazing. This procedural world generator has produced quite an interesting looking map. It's just awkward, I'm afraid. It just adds so many. And then we've got all these grasses, and we'll talk about the grasses and stuff later on. I don't mind the grasses. I don't mind people using grasses. Some people say it'll affect your frame rate too much. A little bit of elevated section here. Note elevated section to allow water running underneath. Okay, off of the hills there. Make a note of that one. That'll be relevant later. In fact, not too much later. But yes, when you've got a procedural world generator, you then have to go in and... Well, you don't have to. There's no law. You're not going to get locked up for it. Although we are all locked up at the moment. But you then have to spend some time. And some love with it. And unfortunately, the procedural world has done the work, but it hasn't been polished. And this, honestly, this map, with the design that it's got, had it been polished, had somebody spent a few weeks, at least a few days, maybe even a few hours, just spending a little bit of time perfecting it, well, this could have been one of the maps of the year. I don't have any doubt about that at all. Got a really high embankment going here, so high we're actually dropping through the road there. Look at that. That's almost like a dam. I mean, you think of the water that runs down that ravine there, the erosion that you've got there from the water, and then it's going to hit that. Do you know what? Later on in the show, we'll stick some water spawn points. I want to see what that looks like when it fills up. I do. Okay, it'll be overkill. It will be overkill. That would never fill up, but it would become marshy and boggy. But yeah, I want to check that out. We're in the start square now. We've finally reached the start location, and there you go. And somewhere around here must be somewhere. Ah, there it is. It's Luminou at their best, as always. Arena La Défense of Paris RICO by Luminou. This is a great building. Great building. If you're looking for a decent arena to go into your city, this, I think, is your fella. And we'll do factoids because factoids. A great earthquake had been predicted for London on this day, the 8th of April, in 1750. And in order to avoid the full force of it, many people decided to spend the previous night in Hyde Park. Well, yeah, safety in numbers and all that. The earthquake, however, never materialised. Well, you never know. There have been earthquakes in the United Kingdom, just tend to be minor trembles rather than big shockers. I haven't had a big shocker here for almost forever. Since the Ice Age. Anyway, Arena La Défense Paris RICO by Luminou. That is today's asset of the day. Now, we do have some rail going through the start square via a level crossing, which you might want to put a bridge over that, possibly. If we go right, we'll go inland and back up into the hills. But going down this way, it's similar. It's a little bit undulating, a little bit bumpy. They have used pretty good skills here with the elevated section. Slight cutting, drops across the river, but then climbs a little bit on the opposite side. Again, it's not the best in terms of absolute realism, but in terms of Cities Skylines rules, it's probably just about okay. Ooh, look, dustbin lorry just drove past my window at silly o'clock in the morning. I haven't seen one of those in days. I thought the whole world had shut down. Anyway, so yeah, what do you think of the Bíseach so far? We'll come back. Oh, hang on, we've got an encroaching tree with a rail line here. Yeah, come back and we'll check. Do you think there'll be shipping routes on this map? Do you think? Place your bets now. When you come back, I'll have the answer for you. Right, where's my coffee?
Have you never quite worked out how to use ploppable RICO? And what the heck is ploppable RICO anyway? Then you need the Beginner's Guide to Ploppable RICO by BonBonB. Click the information button below.
And we are back to Bíseach by Phil Llewell 666. Shipping routes, uninspiring, but nothing wrong with them. It's just a little curve, a little loop round that basically covers the corner, and you're going to be well and truly sorted. No problems at all with this shipping route. Just meets the edge of the map over there. Water flow shouldn't be a problem either, given that this is a procedural world. We've got proper slopes, proper rivers that have been procedurally generated with proper water flow, and we have got proper water flow. Very nice looking river system, very nice. Aesthetics on this map aren't really a problem, even with the problems that it's got with aesthetics. We'll talk about those in a minute. The aesthetics of this map aren't a problem. Then the water picks up here, which is a good thing too, because the start square is in this kind of area down here, and you've got a water spawn point which just pumps the water up. Down here we've got plenty enough water to make a living city survive before you can actually get down to the bay, and it's all very nice indeed. Now we'll just head down into the cove. It's very nice, very nice. A little bit shallow in places, but I think it's a good design. Speaking of good design, Procedural World Generator has done an amazing job. Just loving the spiral effect. And look at this. Look at that. You've got the big overview there. That's an amazing backdrop for your city when you build your city down in this kind of area over here. We've got the farmlands. This is fertile land as well. Look at this over here. Just look at this. Do you know what? Let's pop these water spawn points, give it a chance to work now. I'll set the water capacity down to 0.01. It's not the minimum, but you'll give it a chance to fill up. And again, I know this is overkill. Yeah, there wouldn't be this much water pouring out of it. I'm just doing it for effect, okay? I'm not marking the map down on this one. I'm just showing that this should have been an elevated section, and we've seen that they've done elevated sections on other parts of the map. So that would be my thing. That should have been elevated rather than ground based. Over here we've got an amazing looking waterfall system. I mean, just look at the cliffs, look at the design, look at the way it just comes together, and look at the trees. Now remember, the non-vanilla trees you see here won't appear if you don't subscribe to them. I did pick them up on this. There's 3 missing assets on the loading screen report, and I'm not doing the work. I'm not doing the work for you. I'm not doing the work for them either, okay? But if you look everywhere, it's just a tree brush over the entire map, okay? We've got no drowned trees, which is a good thing, okay? But it's all over the entire map. You have a look there. It's the same density. It's the same mix of trees. You'll see grasses as well mixed in here and there. And then, although it looks like they're spread out on the cliff, that's because this is a vertical. If you go directly above, you can see that the density on the cliffs is exactly the same. They've done absolutely no work at just clearing the... I don't mind 1 or 2 bits of foliage on the cliffs. Yeah, I'm not a tyrant, but unfortunately that is just a very quick tree brush over the entire map. And the only saving grace I feel is that we have no drowned trees, and that might be mod work as well. But I don't think it's my mod work that's doing it. It must have been something that the creator did, and credit for that. Okay, credit for that. We've got water, just a really lovely water system. I can't emphasize this enough. The water system is just lovely, really well done, and just it's a great design. But again, I think that of course a lot of this work is the procedural generator, and Phil Llewell they could have spent a lot of time getting the tree balance, doing different themed forests, different sort of foliage in the wet areas, from the dry areas, from the uplands, from the lowlands. There's a whole lot they could have done, and unfortunately it hasn't been. And of course the networking is a little bit slapdash, not the worst we've seen, but it's a little bit slapdash. And then yes, of course, we've got this little interesting area here. I might have to speed the game engine up so that fills up. In fact, what we'll do is we'll watch this overflow, and I'll use a different area for the thumbnail, because this is not your thumbnail image. It's not fair to use this as a thumbnail image. This is not the map maker's work, really, is it? Anyway, what do you think of this map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. What do I think? Oh, I want it to be. I genuinely want it to be. I just don't know what you're going to make of it. Aesthetically, it's very striking. And while it has problems aesthetically in terms of tree placement, I think the procedural world generator has produced us something that is visually memorable. I can't mark that down below 4 stars. I'm going with 4 stars. Detailing. We've said slapdash. I'm going to stick with slapdash. I'm going to give this 2 stars. However, the missing trees, because of the non-subscriptions that won't appear in your game unless you subscribe to them already, I've got to lose a star off of that. I've got to give 1 star for detail. Gameplay potential, you know what? I think it's playable. I think you want to play this map. I think it's certainly not broken. There's no issues with it. So therefore, it's a playable map. But I think it doesn't push itself onto the next level. And so I'm just going to go 3 stars. Because the desire to want to play it, I don't think you'd be disappointed either. Phil Llewell 666's Bíseach. Bíseach or Bíseach. There's different pronunciations for different bits of Ireland, and yeah, look, I hope it's all pouring over the road there. Oops, different parts of Ireland pronounce it differently. I'm going with the Ulster variation there because Ulster is well, mostly part. It's closer to the United Kingdom than the Republic. I wouldn't want to say the Republic's part of the United Kingdom. Sorry, I wouldn't want to insinuate such a thing. You're very much your own proud nation, and quite rightly still part of Europe. Bless you people. Bless you people. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, for commenting, for liking, and for subscribing, for joining me for a fly through of Bíseach. Be back tomorrow with another What map because, well, it's Thursday. We always do a What map on the Thursday, don't we? Every single Thursday and Wednesday and Tuesday. Thanks for watching. I've been BonBonB. You've been very, very welcome. I'll see you very, very soon.